Welcome to our podcast. I'm Dad's ex.
And I'm the next.
And this week we have a couple of, I was going to say fun topics, but then I realized the first topic
We're going to talk about how our husbands hated each other. It's so much fun.
It's so great. Yeah, we thought it would be fun. We've talked about our journey and how we became really close friends through our co-parenting relationship. So we thought it would be kind of cool to go into the men's backstory and how they've developed and have become
Friends.
Yeah, I'd say
they're not like best friends.
Yeah, they don't hang out all the time like we do,
No.
but they do talk to each other and they hang out and all of that, and they have a journey just as much as we do, and that kind of makes this whole thing functional.
Yeah.
I was like, cool, that's it, topic done.
No.
No.
I mean, I can say, like, when I obviously don't know their entire journey,
right,
but from when I came into it, like I've said, Nick still did have hostility towards the entire situation. Like I've said, have not heard, like I didn't hear the best things about Jess at first, and that mixed with her RBF was like danger.
I feel like I just need to have like an RBF logo or something because it comes up at least every.
Put it on a sweatshirt for you to wear.
Yeah.
So like with that, he just automatically hated William.
Yeah.
And
like by default.
And like we've said, I worked with Jess. Well, William also worked there too. And he was actually directly in my department and one of my supervisors.
I mean, he was my supervisor too, but like
not during that time.
Not during that time period. He was at one point my boss, but then like he was not my boss when we started dating. So
and when I came into the picture, he was one of the few supervisors that I had. Yeah. But I only saw him like 2 days a week. But
yeah. So it's not like I was, fraternizing with my supervisor. I had gotten promoted to a different department. Just have to make sure I'm not breaking laws here.
Okay. But yeah, so like when I came into the picture, I didn't know William that well because I had just entered into the same space that he was, where he was one of my supervisors. So I didn't know him that well. He was only there a couple days a week. He wasn't my direct supervisor, so I didn't have to talk to him at all, really. And yeah, like I said, when Nick had a lot of hostility and he very just blatantly hated Will, just like by association. He didn't know him.
Yeah.
He just hated him because he was this new man. Well, my opinion of this is he hated him because he was this new man in Carly's life.
Yeah.
He still had hostility towards whatever happened between him and Jess. So he just didn't like William. So that's all when I would ask why, he didn't really have answers for me.
Because it was unfounded.
Right. But yeah, so that's where their journey for me, where I jumped into it. I don't think that much happened before that. I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same thing on my side where William had, like, he obviously knew that Nick was in the picture because we had like a co-parenting relationship. And so I would have to like take Carly over there or pick her up or whatever. And so Will knew of Nick and he didn't necessarily like have an opinion on him because I was one of those people where it's like, I'm not going to, if I have a problem with the other parent, like I'm not going to talk about that in front of Carly or like with other people because that's my business, not any of William's. So William just like, he didn't really have an opinion. It was just kind of, I think William was more so just like nervous because he didn't want Nick to hate him and like think that he was coming in and like stealing his job as dad, because that was never
the intent.
Yeah, it was never his intention or the plan or anything like that. And William he's just such he's such an like awkward, introverted like he is very polar opposite of Nick in terms of like Nick is very extroverted and like I would say like when you are at like when we all hang out, like Nick is more of
when he's around people he knows, but when we go we go to
Yeah,
functions where he
I guess
doesn't
that's
know
true.
anybody, like, no.
Yeah. Whereas Will is like, regardless if he knows the people or not,
he
like
will talk to them.
He's like very, yeah.
I feel like he's pretty outgoing at like game nights and things like that. I don't feel like he's that introverted.
Oh, see, it's like I see
you know him on a deeper level.
Yeah, that is true. I see William on like a very, like, the William that is at home. This kind of sounds weird. The William at home is much different than, like, he's much more rambunctious and.
I mean, I see that when I'm here.
Yeah.
This is just his comfort space, his comfortable space.
He does like this like weird, I don't know. There's like a TikTok guy.
I keep forgetting to show it to you.
You need to find it. Because...
oh my gosh. If you guys haven't seen this guy on TikTok, this is William at home. And it's this dad that just randomly will like T-Rex hands and like makes noise, and there's so many times where she'll Marco me and William's just in the background
like doing this like dinosaur walk thing, and for some reason I was going to call it a pterodactyl, but it's not a pterodactyls fly.
Baker would be offended. That's his favorite dinosaur.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Baker. No, but it's like this weird like T-Rex, and he'll like do it with the legs and everything, and he'll squat.
But it's just like this dad on TikTok that does it every single time. But yeah, I mean, and at work too, he was pretty quiet, introverted.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I didn't know him that well. So
you know what got me and why I decided to date William was that flamingo hat.
What flamingo hat?
You don't remember the flamingo hat?
No.
Oh, I was making a joke and it did not land.
It died
because you did not know. He had this hat that he would wear for his team because he was like a people leader, and so he had like a team of people that he managed. And something that he would do to like keep morale high is he would wear this fucking doofy ass pink flamingo hat where it's literally just like poofy mound. That's a weird word. I don't like.
Was it like an inflatable flamingo?
No, like it was like a stuffed animal.
Oh,
flamingo, where it was like you put it on his head and there was like this little, like a pink penis looking.
This just got weird.
This just got real weird. It was a very phallic flamingo.
Okay.
That he wore on his head. Yep.
All right.
He actually got passed on a promotion because he wore that hat, and they were like, "That's unbecoming of a leader."
Oh my god.
Which, I mean, yeah, I would get that.
Yeah.
Walking around with a penis hat.
Okay. Anyways,
I did it.
I hate my life. I hate it here. I want to go home. Anyways, Jess got challenged.
I did get challenged by Nick
to make me as uncomfortable as she can this podcast. So
I'll just say penis a lot.
Okay. Anyways, so now she's on a mission apparently. Yes. So thanks, Nick. Fuck you. William I guess no opinion.
Yeah, he didn't really have like
Nick by default hated him.
Yeah.
And their journey stayed that way for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And
a minute.
Yeah, because I think the first time they were ever really around each other was. I'm gonna pause.
Well, you don't want to listen to a 3-year-old acting like an absolute orangutan in the background?
Oh, orangutans are good. I was gonna say hyena.
That's a good one too. I was gonna say the first time that they
was when Carly went to the hospital.
Was it, or was it like a birthday party? No, I feel like it would have been
where I was involved. It was when she went to the hospital.
Yeah. And this was...
So if he was at her 5th birthday party, then they may have been there, but I don't know if they...
Yeah.
I wasn't. That was when him and I just started dating, so I wasn't at the birthday party and hadn't met her yet at that point.
Yeah.
But the first where like they were together was when she was in the hospital when COVID first happened and Nick couldn't be at the hospital.
Yeah.
So, and he bought her like a stuffed animal and brought it here to drop it off.
Yeah, because this was the same instance in which I had called you in a panic.
Yeah.
And was like, I don't know what the fuck to do. Nick's not answering his phone. And so it's actually kind of funny that like our stories kind of start off in the similar like
time frame.
But it's funny that Carly needing to go to the ER is what like set this whole trajectory up for everybody. But yeah, it was COVID, and so the hospitals in our area, you couldn't bring both parents into the hospital. You could only have one adult with the child. And so because she was here when it happened, like by default, I was the one that took her in. But Nick, obviously, like worried about his kid having to go to the ER, so bought her a stuffed animal. And
he tried, didn't he go in and see her and you stepped out and then... So I thought he was able to go in and see her for a few minutes.
I think so. Yeah, like I think we swapped.
I think you like
places.
went out to smoke or something, and he went in to see her. Oh yeah,
because I was still smoking at that time too. Yeah, so I think that is exactly what happened.
And then I think he went to Walgreens and got her a stuffed animal, and then he brought it. Asked if he could bring it to William to drop it off.
Yeah,
and they ended up having a beer together.
Yeah, they had a beer together, and they were like talking. I think, like honestly, I think both boys were just like stressed about. Because we had no idea what was going on with Carly. Like, she was projectile vomiting. Like, it was, she had a fever. It was just, it ended up being fine. Yeah. Like, she lactose intolerant. She just had a lot of gas buildup. And so she wasn't able to eat anything because everything was filled with gas. The x-ray was insane. Yeah. The amount of stuff that was in her intestines. But she ended up being fine. But that unknown period is really stressful. So I think the boys just like leaned on each other and, you know, their manly, emotional ways.
Nick is not emotional.
Yeah. No, not at all.
And then their next, I guess, stepping stone would have been when we had you over for the 4th. Because that was the first time that they were together in a non-stressful situation. Yeah. For an extended period of time. I think they even left together to go buy more fireworks.
They did. Yeah, they did.
Which I was like shocked. I was like, is William going to come back alive?
That was our whole thing. Was like we were so
what's happening?
Stressed about it. But yeah, they were all about it. Like they piled in and drove off to buy more fireworks together. And I literally was like, sayonara, I'm never gonna see you again. Like,
as we're both pregnant with the boys.
Yes. It's like, please bring him back alive. You know, we weren't married at that time yet, so like the life insurance policy would not have paid out. So
if you're gonna do it, wait till we're married.
Yeah, right. Like, come on, make it so I at least get something out of this. Yeah. God,
I'll give you a cut.
Yeah. Don't get any ideas, Nick. Okay, all right.
Well, he likes him now.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Missed opportunity.
Yeah.
I lost my train of thought. I'm just, just casually joking about offering my husband. Yeah, so I was kind of pleasantly surprised by that, but I'm actually just the way that Nick has always kind of opened up and been willing to do things like that with William, where
he didn't have a choice.
I mean, that is true, but he didn't put up as much of a fight as I thought he normally would. And the fact that he was so open to let's go get fireworks together. Yeah. I got both of the boys a annual pass to a local shooting range with the intention, hopefully, that they would go together. And so they did go shooting together a couple of times. Yeah. And I think
not even at the range.
Not right. I fucking bought them these fucking, and I did talk to Nick about it, and Nick was very clear of the timing just wasn't right, and for Nick it's way out of the way. For William it's right down the road. Yeah. And so it's I understand why they didn't go to the range, but they found a mutual hobby that they both really enjoyed. They're both into guns. They love them guns.
Yeah.
And so I think that really helped.
Yeah.
Whereas Nick is like really into cars, and William couldn't tell you the difference between a tire and an engine. Like, not like, I love you dearly.
Gonna drink my hot chocolate.
He knows the difference between a tire and an engine, but
if he had to take apart said engine, I don't think he could put it back together. Okay, well, I'm so sorry. William is just as much of a car guy as Nick is, apparently.
Apparently.
This is new information, everybody. Breaking news.
I didn't even know it.
Baker heard that fish on like Nick watching TikTok, and so for a few days Baker was running around. This was a while ago, and he was just running around going, breaking news. And I was like, where did you learn this?
Why do they pick up the most random, like Caden does this thing now where he'll go, idea. It's like, where did you get that?
Yeah.
Where are you picking up these things?
Yeah.
But it's so cute.
It is. It was so funny. I asked Nick, I was like, why does he keep saying news? And he was like, he's saying breaking news because of that SpongeBob fish. I was like, oh, okay. Got it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Kids are great.
But yeah, so they found like something that they could both easily talk about, which was guns. So
yeah,
that kind of helped. And then I think, and we've done like game nights and things like that where like they're around each other, but at first it was still kind of like that awkwardness.
Yeah.
And I think the turning point for them when it came to like their relationship was Disney. I think that's where like they both like let their guard down, they both let loose, they both had fun. Like they got matching t-shirts and wore them on this like together. We have a picture of them in their matching t-shirts.
It was shocked.
Yeah.
Shocked
so
that they did that.
So yeah, it's like they I think that was like, at least for me, that's my memory of when I saw things shift for them.
Because then it was they were able to kind of bond over the mutual stress of dealing with their women at Disney World. Because we were a bit extra.
Yeah.
It was so much fun though.
Yeah, it was fun. It was stressful, but it was a lot of fun. We also just like really wanted to make it so memorable for Carly and Jesse because it was both of their first Disney experiences. So it's like we went all out, like so they were dealing with like the financial stress of us.
dollar bills.
We are both also like very big planners where we like to plan things out, and we're both like have like the controlling
type A. We're definitely we're very type A. Like everything has to have like a plan and a structure, and the boys are
like go with the flow, like
they're type IDGAF.
Yeah. Which like I can go with the flow, but I still need to have a plan of like, well, what's our plan for where we're going to eat?
Yeah.
Which the first night, not the day that we landed, but like our first actual day at Disney was wild because we didn't have a plan. And I think we thought we were going to eat at like the hotel or something. And then we went back to Disney.
Yeah.
And had like Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, because we didn't have a plan.
Like we had made 3 food reservations at the parks while we were there. So Jess and I had a day where we planned everything out as far as like where do we want to eat, like
picked all the like restaurant
we knew we didn't want to do a ton of sit down restaurants at Disney just because of like pricing wise. So we picked like 3 restaurants that we did want to go to and try. And so like our first full day there, we were like, so what are we doing for and it was like we were back at the hotel at this point. We'd gone swimming.
I forgot.
Yeah. And then Jess was like, whoa, I found this restaurant at Magic Kingdom that we can go to, and it says they have this, and this, and we're okay. So then we get on the bus,
pack everybody up.
were running
to make it to our
reservation on time.
Because if you don't know Disney, the other thing is that everybody has to be present in order for you to make it to your reservation. So it wasn't like we could just send one person ahead to be like, okay, you hold it for us. Like, we literally, all of us with our children in tow was like,
which, like, out. When I think about it now, it was 4 fucking kids. And now there's 7 of them little guys.
Oh my God.
So,
yeah. That would be chaotic.
I'm like, that was easy compared to what it would look like now.
Yeah,
I'd have like the twins in a carrier and
freaking
Nick would have Lincoln in a carrier and we'd all be running, dragging Baker behind us.
Oh my God.
But yeah, and it was like not a restaurant where you could
not at
order
all.
Food. It was
no menu
all
whatsoever.
Set. It was literally the only way I can describe it as Thanksgiving because
that's
was
what it
turkey.
Was. Yeah, it was turkey, mashed potato. Like, it was a whole
green beans
feast that they like set up on the table, and like what they put on the table was
what you got.
That's what you got. Which, yeah, if we were not
bad.
It wasn't bad, but it definitely wasn't what we were expecting.
Yeah,
yeah, but it was like that kind of chaos that I feel like the boys really bonded over, and just
because they'd both be behind us, like. Again, the girls are so stressed. Just chill out, and we're like, "Don't fucking tell us to chill.
Don't tell me to calm down.
Fine. I promise, this is my fun face.
Can't you tell? I'm having so much fun.
Give me a drink."
Remember that one morning where we were so hungry and we went to this one place for breakfast, and then we
bought drinks instead of breakfast. Yeah,
this was like
Animal Kingdom
peak mom moment where we're like, oh, we're gonna get booze. Totally forgot to buy breakfast, and we had to turn around and go to a different restaurant.
We had fed the kid, like, we got like grab and go breakfast for the kids at the hotel, but we were like determined to get to Animal Kingdom right when they opened so that we could go on the safari so that we didn't have to wait in the long line,
because safari has a long ass line.
So we only had to wait 15 minutes, which was great. And then we got off and both of us were like, all right, we're fucking hungry, we need to find something to eat now. And Will wasn't with us because he was dealing with Caden. So poor Nick has both of us
and we're hangry.
Just like and the kids are like, I want to go on this. And we're like, we don't fucking care what you want to do. We need to eat. And then we're like, oh, they have breakfast sandwiches. And we got in line and ordered fucking, what was it? Like peach mango vodka slushies.
Yeah, because we like saw them on the sign. We're like,
oh, that sounds good.
That sounds great.
Didn't order breakfast. And then by that time,
and we didn't even realize it until after we had like left with our drinks. We're like, fuck, we forgot to get food.
Yeah.
But the
line had already gotten long. Oh my God. So we had to go somewhere else and grab a breakfast. Oh, it was
poor Nick.
Yeah. He was a champ.
He really was.
But yeah, I think that's where they like really, I guess, the turning point for their relationship, where now, like, from that point on, when they'd hang out, it wasn't so tense. It wasn't so awkward. I mean, now they pretty much like stand and talk to each other the entire time when we hang out.
Yeah.
Or like they're the cooks in both of our relationships. And so it's like they'll be cooking dinner, and while we're, they handled Thanksgiving this year while we were doing crafts with the kids. And so yeah, it's been pretty cool to see that turning point, especially just because like Nick did not was very set on not liking him.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to like him.
And now he's talked about like, oh, the 4 of us should go to Vegas sometime.
That'd be
like
so much fun.
I know. Can you imagine?
I just want to see you walking down the street and seeing how uncomfortable you get with all the people.
Oh, I pull Nick's arm to me, and I'm just like, don't look.
If you've never, so I've never been to Vegas, but I've heard I have a lot of girlfriends.
I've been twice and had to be sober both times, so I'm not salty or anything. Maybe if I had a drink, I wouldn't have cared about all the fucking boobs and shit that were out all over the place.
Yeah, I've heard that's like they're everywhere. They're just people walking around with their boobs hanging out. Like, is that?
Yeah.
Like, I get that it's hot, but like I don't know if I could do that.
They're literally like there will be guys out too that will be like Chippendale style guys that will be out out their shirts on. And this happened to my sister when I went with her, but it happened at Fremont, where they like lure you in, and they're like, oh, let's take a picture, and then
They
they'll
want
do
money.
pictures, and at the end they're like, all right, well, like now you owe us this amount of money because you took pictures with us. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
And so I didn't know that because when I went with my sister, that was our first time.
Yeah.
That was my first time ever being in Vegas. And so like after that happened, I was like, we're not taking pictures with anybody. But like the women are doing it too. Like Fremont has like these like circles up and down the street or whatever that people reserve time slots for, to go stand in, like have that space to do whatever it is. Like a lot of it is like the males without shirts on, or women that just have,
they like rent out the space to like
they don't
try
I don't
and
even
make
think
money.
they have to pay for it. They just like reserve it.
Oh, that's crazy.
But other people do it too. Like I don't know if you saw the Marilyn Monroe pictures.
Yes, I did.
So like he will be out there, which he's hilarious, loved him. And he doesn't like charge. He just has a bucket that you put money in. So it's like we put money in the bucket, and he was like, come take pictures with me, and like wasn't like, hey, now you owe me this amount of money.
Yeah, like he was very open about
but,
it.
Like other people will like the spray paint art that we got for you,
or not the graffiti art, but the
just spray paint art,
the Nightmare Before Christmas spray paint.
That was at Fremont. They had like a whole section, so there's also like artists out there that will do it too. But yeah, there is a lot of, which is why I don't understand
how people take their families there.
I understand that some people live there, but even if you live there, why are you taking your kid to Fremont or the Strip?
Yeah, because
and like every single time Nick saw kids, he's like, why are there? Because like when we were on Fremont with like, you know, butts and boobs hanging out,
and I've never been, so I'm very like ignorant to this whole thing. But like people like we're taking a family vacation to Vegas,
which
and I'm like,
there are family things to do in Vegas.
Is there?
Yeah, there is. Like we went to Area 51, the Meow Wolf, Mega Mart, whatever it is.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's like that grocery store thing where there's like hidden spots to like get through, hidden passageways.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And like all of the food is like funny.
Yeah,
like,
okay, I've seen that. Stuff. Yeah,
we went and did that. That's like a kid thing that you can do.
Okay.
And there are like the Strip, but like, and there are like the Marvel exhibition that was like a kid thing to do, and that was on the Strip, but also it's like during the day. Nights more exotic, I guess, than during the day.
Exotic. Butts and boobies. Exotic.
So I mean, it's out during the day too, but it's not like
as bad.
Yeah. So it's like there are things, and like there are families obviously that live in Vegas. One of my best friends lives in Vegas. She has a daughter. Yeah, so it's like there are things. I just don't understand going to certain areas of Vegas with your kids, and the Strip and Fremont are two of those areas.
Yeah.
So, wild. But it's still, I don't know.
Yeah. And now that neither of us can get pregnant, we need to plan a trip.
And I have so many kids that I have to find babysitters for them to do that.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But it's like I've never been to Vegas, and so it'd be a lot of fun.
And I've never gotten to drink in Vegas, so I'd love to experience that. But yeah, so it's like they went from where they started to now Nick is the one who's like
having these ideas.
It'd be really cool if like the four of us went to Vegas, or even like the four of us just going out for a night together. Or he'll have days where he's like, oh, we should invite them over for a game night, and like it's been a while since we've done a game night. And so it's like he went from 4th of July being very awkward about like, why did you invite them to come over for 4th of July? This is going to be so uncomfortable and so awkward, to now he's like, let's go to Vegas.
Yeah. And I guess I should say too, because we haven't necessarily talked about it, but it's like we have, even all four of us have hung out without the kids.
Yeah.
Like it's not like they're a forced friendship because we're all co-parenting, but it's like we've gotten babysitters for the kids, and like we went and saw Matt Rife all together, and so we'll do like double dates or whatever with just the four of us to all hang out. And so it's pretty cool to see how their relationship has been able to like grow into that we're all genuinely friends and can hang out, and there's no like weird animosity or tension about it.
Yeah.
So,
and like they don't hang out like we do, but they, like I said, they're friends. They just don't like
Yeah.
go out and do things together.
Yeah. Not in the same capacity.
Yeah.
Whereas we go out and do, I was going to say wild and
You're
crazy things.
making
but
it sound like we're out at the clubs all the time, like twerking and getting down.
I'm too old for that shit. I
Me
would
too.
break a hip if I went to a club.
I wouldn't, because I'm awkward and I don't like to dance. I have to be very drunk if I'm going to dance. And I have a story for you.
Okay.
But I'm too old in the fact that everybody around me annoys the shit out of me at a club.
You hate people.
Get off my lawn! Like, get away from. And like the night Nick and I got engaged, we went out and his friend bought him too many Jaeger bombs. Nick was wasted.
Yeah.
And then they had the bright idea to go downtown to a club. And I was
is this
so
the friend
annoyed.
That I think it is?
Probably. His friend that he's had since high school.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So then we go downtown where he's still buying Nick Jaeger bombs to celebrate us being engaged. Whereas I'm nowhere near the level that Nick is at. I like see somebody I know. Nick sees somebody that I know and he's like, oh, look, there's so-and-so. And so I was like, oh, let's go say hi. Nick's clumsy drunk ass hits me, spills my drink all over my white sweater that I was wearing. And I was like, that's it. I'm fucking done. I'm getting an Uber and we're going home. Like, in that situation, he was the one annoying the shit out of me.
It's your own spouse.
Yeah. But yeah, all like the young, they just annoy me. Like, I can't go to the clubs anymore because I'm just like annoyed and I'm that grouchy old lady.
And it's like, and at this point,
if I'm like at a drunk point, I'm sure I'd be fine. But if I go into it sober, I'm just annoyed the entire time.
This is why we have to pregame, is just so we can like
tolerate
being
people
in the bar.
Yeah.
Because at this point, like now that we've had kids, because I've thought about it, and it's like we have children, so we're touched out. We are like sensory is just on the fritz because you have kids screaming, yelling, doing shit all the time, and so it's like proactively putting yourself in a situation where it's going to be loud as fuck and people are
21-year-olds,
they're going to be in your space jostling around. It smells bad because I'm sorry, but it's just a bunch of sweaty 21 drunk-year-olds 21-year-old drunks. But yeah, like that does not sound like a good time.
No.
I couldn't do it. Even if my music's like too loud here, I'll get irritated. I'm like, turn that shit down.
Yeah. But okay, so my story,
yes,
where I am very awkward. So even when I was young and could handle all the annoying people, I didn't like to dance. I felt dumb if I danced. I felt uncomfortable. I was very self-conscious.
We were two very different people.
My other best friend Alyssa, she's very much like getting down and twerking, and I'm just like, yeah, okay. And we're very opposite too. I have to be really drunk to like. Anyways, so I was 22, and we were at this club, and it was getting close to closing time, and one of my friends loves to remind me of this because it was so bad. But they had a foam party, and so it was at the end of the foam party, and this song from Free Willy came on. You know, the slow what is the Free Willy song?
I don't know.
Oh my god, I now have to find it.
I've never seen Free Willy.
What?
Is this where I insert another penis joke?
Why?
Because Willy is a euphemism for penis.
Oh my god.
We're just freeing all the willies.
Oh my god, no.
It's a foam party. That sounds like something you would do there. All right.
Okay, so that's the song.
They played that in a club?
Yeah, because it was like getting to closing time,
Oh,
so
so they're
like trying to get people out.
to get out. Okay.
And I was really drunk.
Oh no.
And there was some guy I was dancing with to that song. But like not like dancing that you'd think that you danced to.
You were not to that song? You were just getting down?
One of my friends that was there that night to this day will be like, remember when you were dancing with that guy? Oh yeah, not my finest moment.
Yeah, no, that is
How embarrassing.
How do you even?
I wasn't listening to the music.
You were just having the time of your life.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is.
Yeah. You'd think I was listening to like, what's that? What is it? R. Kelly, Bump and Grind. It was bad. So yeah, to this day, she'll remind me. Remember when you?
Oh man.
I don't. I don't like to dance unless I'm real drunk. I will literally get down to anything. Apparently.
Shit. I wasn't that bad.
It's hot in here.
That was bad. I think the worst thing that has ever happened in the bar is I was dancing with one of my gay friends, and somebody else that knew Will and I that we worked with didn't know that this individual was gay, and so they actually like ran to William, and I felt so bad for them because they were like, I'm so sorry to tell you this, but like I saw Jessica dancing like really like had this whole conversation where she was trying to stick up for William and like make sure that he knew
she was trying to slide in.
I low-key think so, but but it was like this whole thing where William's like, oh no, that guy's gay, like no, like I appreciate your concern, but yeah. So she was like trying to cause all this drama, and that was one of the last times that I went downtown too. So I was like, God damn it. Yeah, I don't have any like crazy.
And we've never been downtown.
We've never gone downtown.
That'd be a fun vlog.
Well, especially because it sounds like you have to get like really like
But it doesn't take much for me to get really drunk.
That is fair. You just get a little
especially nowadays.
Lightweight action.
It's now time for bed.
Yep. Night everybody. Whoa.
That happened at dinner the other night, and I was like, oh, she thinks we're sisters now. Oh.
Oh, you were like an aggressive Italian. Just getting your hand up in there.
Delete! Damn it, I couldn't think of the word. Oh my God, Jess is done.
I'm fine.
Okay. Where was I?
Sisters.
Okay, so Jess and I went to dinner Friday night, and when we were leaving, our waitress, or like one of the waitresses, yelled by and said thanks, and at the like same exact time in the same exact like mannerisms.
It was so bizarre. Like literally both of us did like this quick wave, and we were like, bye.
Yeah. And then as soon as we walked outside, I was like, well, she definitely thinks we're sisters now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And because everybody thinks that we're sisters. And I told Jess, I was like, oh my God, you know what I'm going to start telling people when they ask if we're
just
sisters?
Going to make it easy.
I was like, if people ask if we're sisters, I'm going to start telling them that we are, but I'm also going to tell them that her kid is my step kid and make them real confused and real uncomfortable.
Make them think about it.
Yeah. So that's what the aggressive
that's
Italian.
why we spiraled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
were we talking about before that? Oh, we've never been downtown together.
Oh yeah, that's right. And yeah, we kind of spiraled all over after that.
But that might be a fun vlog.
Yeah.
We should invest some time into
we should, for business purposes, we need to decide. I am kidding. Yeah, research, going downtown and seeing how much of a lightweight we are now. And
I've always been a big lightweight, but it's going to be even worse now that I haven't been able to drink forever.
Yeah. I can't even tell you the last time I've had a drink.
The going away party, I know.
Oh
God.
Yeah, there was so much that happened that night that I just like funneled it into like a very specific part of my brain.
Yeah, I literally had to call William and be like,
yeah,
I know that Jess doesn't want to leave, so can you just help? Can you take her to her car in the morning, let her have some fun for tonight? And he's like, yeah, that's fine. I was like, I'll go pick her up. So I pick her up from this going away dinner because she was like, oh, I'm going to stop drinking. And I was like, no, it's fine. Have another drink. I'll come pick you up. I've already worked it out with William. And then I show up and everybody's like, you're not taking Jess, are you?
They literally would not. They were not happy with the fact
this was at like a dinner at a restaurant I used to work at. And so I'm like in jeans and a t-shirt or something.
Oh, yeah.
I had just found out that I was pregnant with twins. It had been at least maybe a month or two that I had known. And
so you can't drink. You're the only sober one.
I'm the only sober one.
Everyone's sloshed.
Everyone else is sloshed. And I made the most epic move of all of catching. I still can't believe
there was a drink sliding off the table, and
everybody was so drunk,
dove and caught it, and it was like you would think it was like the touchdown that won the Super Bowl. The way that everyone reacted, like we were so drunk.
Yeah,
God.
So then everybody wanted to continue the night out when the restaurant was closing.
Yes.
And so then I had to drive her to a bar.
I feel so
bad. And again, where I'm
sober
completely sober. It's late and I'm like...
So you've seen me drunk off my ass, but I haven't seen you drunk off your ass.
Because I've been pregnant forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta fix that.
Yeah. And so like we've never gotten to be drunk together. Either.
Yeah, the poor men that both the boys. I don't know if they would be able to handle us drunk together.
It would be interesting.
Because I'm already a little rambunctious, and so adding that into the mixture.
Nick has seen me really drunk, like really drunk. He's seen me drunk a few times, but like really drunk when we went on the river.
Oh yeah.
In the beginning of our relationship.
Yeah.
We were like a month into dating. And we went and floated a river. And this is how that day started out. A bird shit on my head.
No matter how many times you tell me that story, I'm still gonna laugh. Bird shit on your head.
So dumb.
You fell asleep and got hella fucking sunburnt.
Yeah, I did.
Hella
I was a lobster. But yeah, Nick and this other, they had to he had to go drop his truck off where we were going to be ending. So then another person had to drive him back up to where we were starting. While he's doing that, and I was with the other people that we were with, I feel like something hit my head, and we're under a bridge, so I'm thinking that it's like a drop of water. And I'm like, what the heck? Hadn't started drinking yet. I'm like, what the heck? Oh my God, a bird shit on me. And I had to go lay down in the river, freaking scrub my hair out, and I'm in a river, so I'm floating as I'm doing this. And
floating down river trying to get shit out of your hair.
Yeah. It was, and I come back and Nick's like, why is your hair already wet? I'm like, a fucking bird shit on my head. So, and after that happened, I cracked open.
You're like, fuck this, I'm drinking.
Yeah, literally. And so I opened one of my blood orange ciders, and Nick said I only had 3 ciders, but I'm pretty sure I had 4. Which still doesn't make a good argument for me.
No, that's not a great argument. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I passed out in my tube, so Nick had to make sure that I was going where I needed to go. And then we got to where we were going, and I was just puking into the side of the tube, and but I couldn't open my eyes because I was so drunk, and so I'm sloshing it around in the river.
Oh my God!
In hopes that nobody will realize I was puking. No. Everybody's like, Shelby, we can see you puking. And then
No!
and then he had to carry me into his truck, and I'm literally laying out the side of his truck, just puking out the door.
Oh my god.
Don't remember the car ride back to my apartment because this was obviously before he moved
It had to have been like heat exhaustion mixed with
not eating.
Well, that was your first mistake.
Well, we had eaten, I'm pretty sure, that morning, and we brought food to eat, but I passed out on the fucking river.
So you never ate.
I never ate.
You were drunk off your ass, empty stomach, heat exhaustion,
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, that's a bad combo.
And
that's a bad time.
The next thing I know, I wake up in my bed, all my lights are off in my apartment, don't know where Nick is, and I'm like, cool, scared him off.
Yeah, you're never
He's
seeing
gone.
him again.
So I call him.
Because this was like one of your first... You guys had been seeing each other for a little
We've been dating
bit.
for a month at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you were like, yeah, he's gone. Never seeing him again.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I scared him away. Like, I was white girl wasted.
Oh.
It was bad. And so then I call him to see if he was going to answer. And if I had scared him away. And he answered, and I was like, where are you? And he's like, you're out of milk, so I'm getting you milk. And I was like, could you go get me some french fries and a Sprite from McDonald's? I'm really hungover, and that's what I want right now. Good times.
What a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Williams had to do that a couple of times. I had two really good guy friends at the place that I used to work at, where we would go downtown all of the time, and Will would be our designated driver. We didn't plan for that to be the case, but it would always come down to like one of my friends would, hey Will, yeah, she's too drunk again. You're gonna have to come pick her up.
Oh my god.
Oh man. So yeah, Will was a pretty good sport about that too. So,
that's funny.
Yeah. And he would always pretend to be really upset. But it was
Look how cute I am.
Look how cute I am. Don't be mad at me, please.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, parenthood changes you.
I know.
I don't know if I could do that again.
I know Nick will say that. He's like, we're not fun anymore.
Yeah.
Well.
Because I'm like, because people will like want to go out at the clubs at like 10 o'clock. And I'm like, I want to be home by 10.
Yeah.
I want to be in bed by 10.
Can we go out like 6, get some dinner?
Yeah.
Then we'll just go sit in a nice, cozy bar.
I don't even know if we have those around here.
There's a couple bars. I couldn't tell you the names of them.
Yeah. You know me, I'm horrible with any sort of restaurant.
Yeah. There's one downtown that I went to a couple of times with someone that I used to date. We had gone to a comedy show one night, and it's a comedy show where the comedians come out, do a bit, then there's an intermission so that all the comedians can go get high and then come back out and do a bit while they're like stoned off their ass.
I love that.
It's amazing. It was like a monthly thing, so we would go every month to watch them. And we went, and then the audience will get high during the intermission too.
Oh God.
So that's what we did during the intermission. Then afterwards we went to this bar, and I had some sort of purpley cider.
Oh.
It's very vivid in my mind because I puked it up later that night.
Well, I didn't get that visual.
It was like bad too, because he's from Vegas and he was FaceTiming a friend, and I was sleeping and just woke up and ran to the bathroom to start puking, and he comes in on his FaceTime and he's like, oh yeah, she's puking. Are you okay?
Why would you do that? Let a woman puke in peace.
Yeah.
Come on.
Right?
Like
oh, it was so bad.
God.
Yeah. It was so bad. But it's like anytime I smoke and drink, I puke. Because the same thing happened with your friend that I know that I'm friends with. We had met up downtown one night a few years ago, and I had been drinking, then smoked with him. And then from there, the guy that I was seeing at the time then, his apartment was right in downtown. So I just walked to his house afterwards, and I was so drunk, again, trying to sleep, wake up because I need to puke. And I
but I
was really
this.
embarrassed about it. So I was trying to puke as quietly as I could. I'm just like, I was trying to be as quiet as I could because he was sleeping. I didn't want to wake him up to me just like, so I was trying to be as quiet as I could so that he wouldn't wake up because I was so embarrassed.
Now you're trying to save some dignity.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So, I mean, I don't, whatever now. I found a man that
will put up with your
watched
shit.
me puke everywhere.
Yeah.
So, multiple times. So he still loves me. So here we are.
Yeah.
I have all these great stories about back in the day, but I can't see me replicating any.
No. I like think about drinking a drink and I'm just like,
see, I like want to because it loosens me up.
Yeah. And you've also been deprived of it for the last like 4 years.
That like, because everybody around me has continued to drink drinks that I like. This bitch. When I was pregnant with the twins, we went and did like a date and paint thing.
We have the same favorite drink, so it's not like I was doing it out of malice.
We don't have the same favorite drink. You will drink whiskey and I will not. So you could have ordered a completely different drink.
I wasn't gonna shoot whiskey while we were painting, though.
Oh my gosh.
There's a time and place for whiskey, and that was not it.
Could have been it. But so we're painting, and I'm pregnant with the twins. Obviously can't have a drink, so I'm already just like, everybody around me can drink and paint, and that sounds like fun. Here I am, pregnant as shit, and can't have anything. And she's like, yeah, can I get a strawberry daiquiri, please? And I'm like, you fucking bitch, because that is what I always get. And she's like, oh, sorry. And I'm like, no, you're not. I hate you.
So what I'm hearing is that I need to take you out for a strawberry daiquiri.
Yeah, I feel like it's owed.
Yeah, that's valid.
Maybe a few of them.
that's valid.
Yeah.
Oops.
I don't have a good segue into the other topic.
No, and I feel like at this point, like it would just be really awkward
to get real serious. So we want to talk about our mental health journey now. After all of this chaos, and it's really serious, so we cannot laugh. Your nostrils were flaring.
I can't. I'm like too. Mental health's not a joke. I'm crying.
Oh my gosh.
I'm literally crying.
I can see that your eyeballs are all red.
Yeah. So we might have to save that for next week. I don't know if we can go from
this to this
to real serious
business.
Real serious business. So I think what
Getting down to business.
I think what we need to do is we need to start with the serious topic and then segue into
the goofiness.
Yeah, because I feel like maybe we'll end it on me explaining this game because I've said delete a couple of times. Are you okay with me explaining this? Because this is my husband's game. Okay. I'll give like a very brief description. So we all used to work in the same office, and it was like a corporate office. The kind of office where if you said that's what she said, you would get sent to HR. So
no, you wouldn't.
I mean,
people did it all the time. It depended on who you said it to.
Yeah, you had to like know your audience. But so my husband and a couple of his buddies like created what we call the copy paste game. And essentially the idea is when you say something that can be construed as sexual or whatever, you can say copy. So you're essentially copying that sentence and then you hold on to that. And at any point in the future, you can say paste, and that person then has to re-say what has been copied.
I never remember.
And
I know what my paste on you is.
Some of them are so
scissoring.
good. The scissoring one. And it was so great because we would do it at work. Delete. We would play the game at work, And so obviously if you say delete, they cannot copy what you have said. So you have to, if you say something that could be construed as sexual, you say delete so that it cannot get copied. But we would play the game at work, and it kind of got out of hand where we had a lot of people that knew how to play the game. And so I would be in a training classroom, and I'm literally training like 20 people, and all of a sudden, like, one of my friends would open up the door and be like, paste! And then shut the door. And I'm like, I'm not fucking saying that in front of all these people. But they would like wait for you to say it because they just have this shitting grin on their face because they know. Because when there would be some off the wall things that you would say that without context, it's like, why did you say that?
Yeah.
What caused this? And so 9 times out of 10, you'd have to explain the context.
Good conversation starter.
Oh, it's great. It's so great. But yeah, so now we still kind of play it because it's fucking hilarious. Because you'll say things that you don't realize are sexual, but then when somebody says copied, you think about the connotations, and it's like, oh.
But then it's like, she's played the game a lot longer than I have, so she's really good at deleting and copying things faster than I am, and so it's like I always forget the word that I need to say. I can never think of copy for some reason in the moment. I
still think that lady at Dairy Queen thinks we're psychotic because we were at the drive-thru getting Blizzard's, what was it, last week or something, where we had that like slow-mo moment where I can't remember. I said something about meat. Oh, because William had ordered like a triple burger. Do you not remember this?
No, I do.
Oh, okay.
I'm remembering. I don't remember what was said. I remember us going to Dairy Queen.
Yeah. And I had said something about fitting a lot of that meat in his mouth, delete.
Oh my gosh. William's real proud he can fit a lot of meat in his mouth.
And I had said it, and we both like slowly turned to look at each other, and
that's right.
Neither of us could remember the word that we needed to say, and so we started like panicking, and we both like screamed copy and delete at the same time.
Yeah.
While we're in the drive-thru, like 1 car away from the window, and my window was down because I'm an anxious person, and so I have to have my card ready to like take my money. And we could see the people who were like exchanging their food like look at our car while we were in it. We were dying laughing. Yeah, that was a very awkward interaction after that of like, yep, here's our food, thank you, okay, bye.
That's funny. We've done a really good job talking about awkward things that we've gone through, but you've done a bad job at making me awkward and uncomfortable.
Yeah, that is true. I don't know. Nick was like, just make it blatantly obvious, and it's like, I don't really have anything to like, I don't know. I'm like, I can't even think of anything to make it awkward because it's like I could ask you questions, but I don't want to know the answers. Like, I've been like getting sucked into Reddit, and I've been seeing some like,
oh y'all, how much sex are you having?
See, I could make you uncomfortable with that.
You only said the first part.
I did.
Copy!
No. I can make y'all come. Delete.
No, I already copied it. I already copied it.
The look of my husband's face. Well, that'll be a perfect example of.
Did I tell you
how
about
to play the game?
Has Nick? I'm not good with words, and
I think that's been established that neither of us are good at words.
I mess words up a lot, and I forget words a lot, especially at night. And Nick, we were talking about like our bed sheets, our fitted sheet, because it like kept coming up on the corner, and I said something like, I made it uncome or something like that. And so Nick will always be like, what was it that you made the bed? What was that word?
You made it uncome.
Yeah, when that like that? Wasn't, it's not what I meant to say. That's just what came out. Am I the asshole? Asshole?
Please you've seen that. I am Cornholio.
I literally said Holio at the same time you did. That's why I looked at you like that. We
Oh.
said the same thing.
I thought you were just giving me a weird look.
No, we both went as Holio.
This is going to be a fucking chaotic ass episode.
Am I the asshole for refusing to let my mother-in-law in my house to see my son?
Oh, I'm already triggered.
I figured you would be.
I'm ready.
Oh my gosh. And guess what the husband's name is?
Is it William?
It's Jared.
Oh.
It's my dumbass brother's name that I hate.
We hate.
That we hate.
I hate by association. Not by association. I should say that by association. I've never met the guy, but I've heard atrocious things.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a long one.
Ooh, I'm here for it.
My husband Jared and I have a 6-month-old son we will call Jed. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and my mother-in-law Susan lives next door to us. Oh my god, it's your nightmare. She just moved next door to us a couple months ago. It's not like we could stop her. So this didn't
you could.
So this didn't happen during our son's early months. Since she moved here, she has taken to just showing up at the door to see Jed and continuously knocking since she knows I'm home until I open. It's a real problem when I am trying to put Jed down for a nap or feed him or nap myself, etc., and she has woken him up multiple times. My dog doesn't bark, but starts pacing and whines the entire time from excitement/anxiety until she leaves or I open the door. Susan showed up 2 weeks ago knocking after I told her the day before that Jed was teething and sleeping terribly. She came right as I had gotten him to sleep and woke him up. I told her at the door it's not a good time, and she said she'll come back later. I told her to please text me so I can make sure he's awake first. It took 2 hours to get Jed back to sleep, and she comes over 10 minutes after I get him down without texting me and wakes him up again. I didn't answer the door. I have a Ring camera, and she stood there for 15 minutes, knocking every few minutes or so. After 15 minutes, she finally texted me saying she's here to see Jed. I texted her back saying he's sleeping and I will let her know when she can come see him, and then she finally left. When Jared got home and I told him everything, and he went to talk to Susan and told her she needs to text me asking if the time works before just showing up, as she keeps waking up Jed. She said she understood and would only come over when she knows he's awake. He told her to only come over when I say it's okay. Susan has now taken to standing outside our front door and listening to see if she can hear Jed. In parentheses, she put, it's a small old house, so if he's baby talking or crying, you can usually hear it. If she can, she'll knock and stay knocking until I answer. I've taken to just ignoring her and taking Jed and my dog into the backyard or as far from the front door as I can get and playing until she gives up and I see her leave on the camera. I told my husband, and he agrees with me not letting her in unless she texts me first, regardless of whether Jed is awake or not. My father-in-law, Grant, who is divorced from Susan, texted me and Jared yesterday about how she is hurt and how we are being cruel by ignoring her, and how she's always wanted to be a grandma and she deserves an opportunity to bond with her grandson. She hasn't seen him in over a week. We were out of town over the weekend, and made a Facebook post about how much she misses him. Susan's siblings were commenting about why she can't see him being next door, and she said we weren't allowing her to for no reason. Between Grant and aunts/uncles, I am beginning to feel like an asshole, but I'm not sure that I am one. Jared did text his dad back explaining, but Grant said that we are being petty.
Being petty? I'm sorry. Holding a boundary that you have set is being petty. And this is...
Yeah, but that generation doesn't understand boundaries.
No, they really don't. And these are, like, to the T, some of the exact same issues that I'm having with my own mother-in-law. And it's, like, it's hard setting those boundaries and, like, holding them, because they will. They'll push and they'll push and they'll push to try and see what they can get away with. Because to them, they feel like they're owed this relationship, like they're entitled. And it's like, just because you have the title grandparent does not mean you are entitled to my child.
Well, that was like, my mom has that entitlement towards Jesse, where she thinks that she's entitled to be in his life regardless of what hers and my relationship is. And it's like, no.
Like,
And the
how
funny
hard is
thing,
it to send a fucking text?
yeah,
It's not that hard.
it's not. Or like even pre-plan it the day before, like, hey, I'd
Right.
like to come see Jed tomorrow. What is the time that works best for you? Or like if you want to see him so bad, why don't you offer, if the mom's okay with it, to babysit so she can take a nap for a couple of hours.
Right.
Or so she can go run an errand, baby free, or go do something by herself, go have lunch with a friend. Like if you want to be that involved,
Yeah.
offer to babysit as long as the mom is okay with it. Because especially being a first time mom, I know that a lot of them are like, I'm not comfortable leaving my child yet. So it's like
hard
you
with
have
that
to,
first kid.
but so it's like you have to ask, like, well, would you be comfortable with me babysitting so that you could take a nap, or so that you could even take a shower? You know, like instead of making it about the grandma should be making it about like, hey, I'd love to spend some time with Jed, but I'd also love to help you out. So like,
Right.
what would be the most beneficial? Like, make it a beneficial relationship.
But instead, she's making the mother feel like she's a fucking hostage in her own house by like, who does that?
Yeah.
Sitting at your front door, knocking continuously until you answer the door. I think she's doing the right thing. Like, you have to hold your boundaries. And so, like, don't answer the door. Do exactly that, where you're getting as far away from the door as possible, because that's showing the grandmother the consequences.
I just saw an edit. A lot of people also telling me to just let her watch him when she wants and then have time to myself, but she is not a trustworthy caretaker. We will not allow her to watch him unsupervised.
Oh, okay. So there's more to this, where the mother-in-law is doing some other stuff that makes her not suitable for caretaking. And so even more so, it's like, yeah, fucking hold your ground and don't let her in. That's obscene to me that she, because that's what they do in those situations, though. They try and get a pity party going to have everyone gang up on you and try and make you feel bad for having the boundaries that you do. Stand your ground, lady. You're not the asshole.
Yeah, I don't think that she is either. I think that she's been very clear on, it's not like she's telling her mother-in-law, no, you cannot see him. It's just a very clear, basic, common decency request that she's asking, like, just text me first.
And I can let you know if he's awake, if it's a good time. Like, it's really not that hard to send a text beforehand.
Yeah.
Ooh, that one hits home.
Okay, pick one from these four.
Oh.
I want to know all of them.
Right. I'm like, I don't. Maybe we'll have my William come pick one, because I'm being indecisive.
Pick one of these. Am I the assholes?
Yeah.
Ooh. That's why I told you to pick it, because I couldn't pick one.
I know. We'll make my husband. We're all indecisive.
We're all also very nosy and want to know.
We want all the tea. Yeah. It's like the second one.
Okay. Am I the asshole for calling police on parents? It doesn't say my parents. It just says on parents.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, so I, 23 female, was asked to sit for a date night while the parents went to a wedding yesterday.
Ooh.
I was supposed to have a baby boy 13 weeks old and his sister 2 years old from 5 to 11 p.m.
Okay.
This is not my first time watching either child. Our evening went as smoothly as it could with a toddler and baby. I got them to bed by 7:30 and started putting the house back together.
Good job.
At 10:15 p.m., I got a text from the parents asking if I could stay until 12 p.m. Well, technically 12 a.m.
Yeah.
But okay, I won't nitpick here.
Upfront communication.
And I told them that's fine and to have fun. 12:15 rolls around and I haven't heard from the parents. I sent a text asking if they're close and didn't get a response. I can be pretty anxious, so my mind started thinking they got into an accident or something bad happened. I didn't hear from them after 5 minutes and then decided to call but got no answer. 1 a.m. rolls around and the baby has already woken up to feed again and I'm just overly anxious at this point. It's 1 a.m. and I have no one to call to calm me down. I would never assume that a late parent is just a late parent at 1 a.m. So I am just on our city's Twitter page where they'll let you know road conditions and accidents, seeing if something happened within the last hour and a half, but nothing. 2 a.m. rolls around, and I kid you not, I have called around 15 times and received no answer from either parent. I wanted to call the police at that point, but also didn't want the kids woken up and taken out of the house at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
I was hoping that the parents would walk in, and although I'd be angry, at least they're fine. But again, that didn't happen.
Because it's like the bars close at 2 a.m., so it's like,
well, they're at a wedding.
Oh. Ooh.
But 2 a.m. is still, it went from 11 p.m.
to 12
to
and
now they're
we're
not even answering, and it's 2 a.m.
And so we're 2 hours past the new
with
curfew,
no
contact whatsoever.
At 5 a.m., I decided to call the police and report the parents missing, and I told them I couldn't keep them after having them all night. The police showed up at 5:22 and took a statement from me. I was asked for the parents' numbers, and the police asked if I could stay with the kids until they could figure out what exactly they're going to do. At this point, the neighbors are outside, and the woman directly next door told me she could stay with them, but I didn't know their relationship to her, so I told her I'd wait with the kids for a bit.
Good call.
So, like, already I'm like, you're not the asshole. Like, you're looking out for the kids' best interest.
We're talking 5 hours past.
Well, and not letting the kids stay with somebody she doesn't know the relationship.
Yeah.
That's, like, big, too. Because I feel like other people would be like, yes.
Yeah, take them. I'm out.
At fucking 5:48 a.m., they roll up and are greeted by the police. The mom ran into the house thinking something had happened to the kids and sighed when she saw they were there. Our phones died and we didn't know how to get home from the venue, is what she said to me. And I was fuming.
What?
I called them irresponsible and the shittiest parents I've ever worked for. I demanded she pay me on the spot and I left. I got a super long message about how this is my job and I'm a huge asshole for disrespecting them and calling the police. She felt like I could have left them with the neighbors or called the emergency contacts, not the police. Am I the asshole?
I'm sorry. One, if she's babysitting, and she's been babysitting multiple times before, like, how are you supposed to know that, like, your neighbors are somebody to be trustworthy with? Because, like, some of my neighbors are fucking batshit crazy.
Yeah.
I would not trust some of my neighbors.
I mean, one of my neighbors threatened to shoot my dog. So.
Yeah. So it's like, I would not just be okay with any of my neighbors coming over and keeping an eye on my kids. But you're going to be mad at your babysitter for being concerned about your well-being enough to call the police?
Yeah.
5 hours
after you were supposed to be home.
Yeah.
Which you were supposed to be home 6 hours ago, but you extended it 1 hour.
And you're telling me you got lost because you didn't have GPS on your phone from a wedding, and so it took you an additional 5 hours?
And your phone was dead?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I could not get lost for 5 fucking... At that point...
Because, like, what were they doing for those 5 hours?
Yeah. So, because I've had a situation where I've had Carly, and she was an infant, and we were still, like, so she was still in a car seat, and I had drove down south to visit one of my best friends, because she lived down in Silverdale, and so you had to take, like, you could either take a ferry, or you could drive, like, down around the peninsula, and my phone died, and I was on my way back home, and so I'm 3 hours away from the house, don't have a phone to be able to GPS to get back, and you know what I did? I went to the nearest fucking gas station and I bought a fucking USB charger like thing for your car, and I sat in the parking lot and charged my phone for 20 minutes.
Which, if you can afford to pay a babysitter, you can afford to stop at a
gas station and get a charger.
Get a charger for your car.
Like, the solution is not to drive around like a fucking idiot hoping you'll eventually find your way home.
Right.
So and then get mad at them because they called the police because God
what else
forbid,
are they supposed to think?
Right. Like, God forbid something happened to you.
Right.
I'm flabbergasted.
So there's an edit that says, emergency contacts are mom's parents who are a 6-hour plane ride away.
So what are they gonna do?
Their pediatrician's office and 911. I felt like 911 would be the best in this case. The wedding was a friend of the dad's, so I just don't see how they'd be able to contact, how they I just don't see how they'd be able to contact anyone there. I think she meant wouldn't be able to contact anyone there. And if it's a friend of the dad's, how did they not know how to get home from?
Yeah. Like, they're obviously local.
Yeah.
Because they didn't go very far. If they were babysitting from 5 to 11, it's not like they were driving far from home to go to this wedding.
Yeah.
Some people just drive me nuts with that kind of shit. So, because I had read a Am I the Asshole story very similar to that, where this kid was babysitting their toddler. And you know how some toddlers have this like condition where if they get really upset or frustrated, they'll hold their breath and you have to like blow on their face, otherwise they'll pass the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, their toddler had this and they forgot to tell the babysitter, oh, this is a thing that this kid will do. And so the kid passes out after holding its breath for too long. So the babysitter calls 911 because they think this kid just fucking died, passed out. And the parents came home while the paramedics were there. And like, obviously they called the parent. And like the parents like reamed this babysitter a new asshole for calling the police. And it's like, I would fucking hope that if something were to happen to my child, that your first 2 phone calls are 911 and me.
Yeah.
Like, I get
911 first.
Yeah. Get the paramedics there. Make sure that my child is taken care of. Like, I would rather have paramedics show up and my kid be fine and have it be a misunderstanding than for it to not be okay and paramedics not be able to get there in time to save my child.
Yeah.
Like, why would you yell at your babysitter for doing that when it was your fuck up in the first place for not telling them that your child's a dick and holds their breath to the point where they pass out? Like,
yeah.
That's insane to me.
I don't know. The babysitter's definitely not an asshole.
No.
I think she did the right things. She honestly, I think
I would have called sooner.
I know. At 2 a.m. I think I would have called.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Like, yeah, it sucks that the kids would have gotten woken up in the middle of the night, but at the same time,
you're getting no contact for hours.
You're up worried. She probably didn't sleep at all because she's up worried about these parents. And she's also taking care of a 13-week-old baby. Yeah. So a newborn. Yeah. Pretty much.
And a toddler.
The baby's probably not sleeping through the night yet. Mm-hmm. And so it's like she probably got no sleep. Who knows if she has like a day job that she had to go to too.
Oh, God, yeah.
Where now she has to go to with no sleep. All this stress from the night before, probably emotionally and mentally stressed.
23 years old, so could still be going to college. Like, they had no respect for her time as an individual. Fuck those parents.
Yeah.
That's so irresponsible.
I just don't and like, both the parents don't have phones. Both of their phones died.
That's just.
Like, no. Absolutely not. And then to yell at her and say that this was her job. No, her job was supposed to end at midnight.
Yeah. Well, it was supposed to end at 11.
Right.
But then she was gracious enough to let them stay another hour.
Yeah. You took advantage of her.
I could never. Because whenever I ask somebody to watch my kids, like, I am so.
I was so stressed out the other night about, like, I don't want the girls to be with my in-laws too late because, like, I don't want to keep them up too late.
Like, I don't want to inconvenience the other person with my kids. And so whenever, like, Will and I go out, I always make sure that, like, phone volume on high. So if anything happens,
always fully charge my phone before we go anywhere.
And I'm like,
and Nick has a portable charger in his car.
I always text as soon as I'm on the way back home, that kind of thing, because I'm like anxious of like, I don't want to put you out because you're watching my gremlins.
Well, and it's like you don't want to ruin that relationship too of like them being like, I'm not babysitting like, for you again.
God, I have somebody who's gonna watch my kids. Like, I'm gonna make sure that it's as enjoyable as an experience, so you'll come back and do it again.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, she's definitely not the asshole. That's ridiculous. The parents are the fucking assholes.
Yeah. Come watch our kids. Well, yeah.
There's a lot of them if we're doing all 7.
Yeah, that is
You only
true.
have 2.
Yeah. You need like a zoo handler's
like
permit
any
or
like
something.
even just for Nick and I to go do something, we literally are like, all right, who's gonna watch the boys and who's gonna watch the girls?
You have to separate them and put them into different households.
Right. Well, that's how we had to make Saturday work. Was the boys went and stayed with Nick's mom. Jesse stayed at a friend's house, and the girls went to Nick's dad's house for a couple of hours. And
yeah, you have to like line up multiple babysitters.
I know, it sucks.
That does suck.
It sucks.
Whereas I only have 2, and they're a package deal. So
yeah,
one and done.
I can't believe some people's parents.
Ugh. And it's like, if you're gonna go to a wedding, like set up like an overnight situation at that point. Like,
well, and what probably happened is this was probably like their first time going out after having this baby.
I mean,
and they probably got carried away.
Yeah,
and took advantage of this girl.
Oh, 100%.
You know, and then for them even to offer up the babysitter too, like why couldn't you have just left them with the babysitter or left them with the neighbor?
Yeah, like how would the babysitter know that that's an okay thing to do? Yeah, especially if they're not on the emergency contact list. Yeah, like to me that's law. Yeah, like you do not stray from this piece of paper of who I've said is okay to contact.
Yeah, so I don't know. I that's what I think is it's like their first night out, they got too carried away and took advantage of this poor babysitter.
Yeah, that's awful. And this is why I have anxiety. People like that.
Yeah, people are dumb. I hate people.
Yeah, same.
People do suck. Thanks for joining us on another week of Dad's X and Next. Thanks for joining us on another week. It's bedtime, past bedtime. Again, we're filming really late. It is Monday. We normally film Sunday mornings, but we celebrated Lincoln's birthday yesterday.
A lot of fun. The kids played hard.
They did play hard. He turned 1 2 months ago, but his birthday's the day after Christmas, so we didn't celebrate then. So we finally celebrated yesterday, so we didn't have time to do this. So we are here past night time to do this. So,
but the really exciting thing is that for this week's episode and episodes moving forward, not only can you watch us on YouTube, but you can now listen to us on Spotify. So that's I love the bullhorn noise. So that's really exciting. I'm super pumped about it. So yeah, so if you would rather listen while you're doing stuff or in the car or whatever, you now have that option to do that.
Or you can still watch us on YouTube so you can see our faces. But yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, follow us on all the things. Again, if you have any suggestions or anything you guys would like to specifically hear from us on, you can reach out on any of the social media platforms or email us at dadsxandnext@gmail.com. Otherwise, we hope that you have a great week. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.